Oh no. Hello, everybody. I wonder if I took the wrong turn somewhere. Hello, hello. There you are. Is the sound okay? Hi, John. How you doing? The sound all right? And the video? It's fine from my end. Hi, Big Sal. This is. I'm. In fact, I think I was 1 minute early today. Sounds good. Great. Everybody's still asleep. Well, maybe here. In Europe, they're all on vacation. I think. Hi, Dominic. How you doing? Oh man. Um. Oh boy. Uh. The just when I was able to, I don't like wearing these masks at all. My mask. Here's my mask with my watch on it. I don't like it. I can't. I really don't. But I wear those things because apparently, I guess this new variant they have is that the Delta variant gets into your navel cavity, and even though you're not gonna get this stuff if you have your shots, some may, but not very many. You spread it, and I got grandkids. I'm not gonna, if I go out someplace for a lot of people, um, you know, I'm not going to wear a mask. I mean, I am going to wear one, but when I come home and I'm not around a lot of people, I don't wear the thing, because I don't like it, but I do it. So, hi, Yusef, how you doing, man? How are things in Bahrain? Yeah, no, and see in Bahrain, it's like late in the day. The heat will mask almost to death. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just want to bounce it off of me. It can I like to keep thoughts of watches in my nasal cavities. A good smelling watch. Hi, Zaid. How you doing? I'm really good. I was just complaining about wearing a mask, but I do because stupid variant. Ah, man, I can hardly wait till all of this is over. What I'm really hoping for is that in October, when they have the watch time show in New York, we'll all be able to go. Uh, and if you have to wear a mask, you should have your watch on it. Okay, doke. Very hot. Yeah. Hi, Hater. How you doing? Uh, hey, Zahid. How are things in Pakistan? I guess let's see. They're hot in Bahrain. Here, let me see what the temperature is right now. The temperature we're having is 61 degrees. Now that's Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what it is Celsius, but it's a very comfortable morning. We've been going out and doing our 5K on these mornings and stuff. Well, we got a lot to chat about today. Let me start off with some really good news. The the guys at Agenor are today. They begin vacation. We're not going to hear from them again until mid-August, and that's fine. And the reason I say that's fine, if you're working with someone and they have a vacation, they need it. You want somebody who's coming back from a holiday all in good shape. 115. Okay, Yusuf, that's too much. Holy smoke. Okay. Um, the it's raining there, Zahid. Okay, that's cool. Rain's good. All right. Let's talk about the Watts project and some other stuff. Hi, William. Um, Working for Omega. Oh, good, great. I love to have representatives from other companies with us. I mean, from all different kinds of Watts companies. That's cool. Okay, now for our own project, this is what we have. This is what I got. Now, it's really hard to see, but what they found out, this little hand right here is where they're able to, they did find something for us at 8 o'clock. And so I superimposed on this picture to try to get an idea of where the small seconds would go, the subdial. And so I traced where where they had in the sort of the where the gears were, so they could fit a pinion in there with a second hand on it. So anyway, that was what we wanted in the first place, and so it's looking good to get that. And I think that, once after mid-August, we're all set to go full steam ahead again. So here's the latest revision, and the I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll put these on the Pure Horology website. Right here, this is the spot. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but this is where this is the 8 o'clock subdial, and you can see these gears right here, and then the pinions slipping right in there, and that's how they're going to turn the second hand. So things are looking good. Things are looking good uh, for that. So I thought that was great. Hey, Rancher, how you doing, man? Had a bunch of Rancher appears and then disappears. Okay, Yusuf. Hey, you're not going, I hope. Okay, so this is where we are on that. So before we get started, do you have any comments or questions about that? Anything you have to say about it? Hi, Abdul. Abdul, just telling everybody that we got an update from Aganor, and they were able to put the I put it this way. They were able to put the small seconds down at 8 o'clock. So that was that's our big news today. And then they went on holiday, so we'll see them about in the middle. But the thing that's nice about this, and what we know is that they're trying everything they can to help us get what we wanted, and that was basically a basic movement with the sub-seconds, and we like around 8 o'clock. It's sort of a little cooler than 6 or 9, but 9 was okay too. Hi, Baoist, how you doing? I saw the prototype looking good. Thanks. I think so too. I'm really very happy with it. Yeah, Abdul, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. Here we have it here, and it's sort of it's a little cheeky. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have ours instead of having it over here at 3 or 9 or 6. We're gonna have it at 8. That's sort of a cool place to have it. Couldn't the dial face be opened where the second would be open heart? Yeah, I don't think we're going with the open face on that, John. The what we want is sort of like a classic dial on it, and then we would have this big red thing here just to point out where it would be. We'll have try to get some really good colors and numbers and everything. One of the things when I used to program, programmers make the worst looking websites. I mean, a good programmer who really understands internet programming, who can, deal with C# or PHP or one of the other ones that are used a lot in that kind of development, usually have god awful websites. One of the worst websites around, I think, is Yahoo's. And Yahoo's got some world class programmers, but geez, they always have ugly things like that. The same with watchmakers and us, myself included. We know what we like. I think that's pretty clear. But I think what we really need to do is go to the dial maker, and if we're going to deal with uh, Metrolum, the one that Philippe Dufour used to make that beautiful dial on his. Here you have a white lacquer background with black letters and numbers. Ask them, say, look, guys, we're not artists and designers. Could you give us some, some renderings, some ideas? Uh, and having all they need to do for sure is be sure the hole is in the right place so that the stem for the second hands can come through, and then the area that we want it in, and have them come up with something that looks really classy. And I think that would be, because they say, too many cooks will ruin the soup. And let's face it, we're too many cooks. And I'd rather have somebody who they work with dials all the time and say, could you make us something, and just sort of give them an idea of what we agree on that we'd like. So anyway, that's my view on the thing, rather than trying to do too much. If we need that really basic movement with a basic watch, and down the road we can do all kinds of other possibilities. Hi Lee, how you doing? Annie Oakley from Fracking Gulch says, uh, that's off center. Of course, what does she know? She knows a lot. Oh, you want it exactly at 8. Could we tilt? Well, here's the thing, Hater. This is what we got to deal with. Um, this point right here, so you can see it. Okay, see, here's the pinion right here at the tip of the second hand. That green thing going down is the second hand, and they've got to position it here so that the pinions and the gears go together. And so it's sort of like as close as possible, rather than, okay, we want to have it just right at 8 or right between 7 or 8 or some of these other things that we like. I mean, it's sort of like this is the best we can do, because we've got to put two things together, mainly the what we'll call the mechanical requirements, and then plus how we want it to look. Does that make sense to everyone? Um, are we firm with the Urban Jurgensen style hands? Not at all. Not at all. These were just put here because I put some hands up there. These I wouldn't call these Urban Jurgensen hands, even though they are. They're sort of like Urban Jurgensen. These are called observatory hands, where you have the big palm up here, and then you have the little skinny one. Not at all. What I was thinking of, and this is what we had talked about, and I thought people wanted, was more like a Breguet hands with the little palms at the tips. Whatever you guys want. We'll see what And then I think also too, once we get a dial design we like, is talk to the dial designer and say, what hands do you think would go the best with this thing? So we end up with a watch that looks like, professionally done watch. Uh, we have we'll have the really professionally done movement, the professionally done case by Voutier and Kalin, and then the same with the dial. But I don't think that loving hands at home is what we want for the dial. Okay, or we don't want, we just, yeah, simple is better, exactly. And that's something that's sort of my thinking about the whole thing too, is that simple is harder. Actually, good simple stuff is very hard. um hey Rancher. Okay, let's see. Oh good. Like the Breguet hand, also the Fluid Elise hands. Yeah, I think the Fluid Elise, I like those hands too, but I like them more generally with the Roman numerals. I that they seem to be uh, very, very formal. But maybe that's what we'll end up with. Who knows? Um, Big Sal, maybe a rendering with 12369 versus all Arabic numbers, minute markers for both, might help visualize how hands and subseconds will work. Yeah. Yeah, we can. I put them all in there. I put all of the numbers in there mainly uh, so that we could see if this is going to cover or clip. Like this size, I think is pretty close to what they had put here. This not the big green one, but the one down here. And I tried to get it as close to this as possible. And with this position, what I did is that I this spot right here is actually superimposed on this. And what I had done was bring down the opacity uh, so I could see through it to see what the center point was. That's what that was going on with that. California format with Eastern Arabic and Arabic would be something unique. Yeah, I think again, California dial. I love California dials. In fact, I got one here. I'm trying to find a watch, trying to putting a watch together for. But I think something more conventional in the sense that something that is, it's something that is not too dramatic. Okay. California dials are very informal. They were originally, I think, as far as I know, were made for sort of replacement dials for Rolexes out in this place in California. Now I know that Paneraia's used them too, but I don't know. We'll see. Snowflake hands, yeah. Ooh. Okay. My time is half up. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Joas. How you doing? Um, okay. Great example of timeless simplicity is the Mertz Grossman Power Reserve Vintage model. Simple dials, simple everything. Yeah, that's California dials are quirky and go in and out of style. California dials are the things that are for fun. If you're making a fun watch, this one's a little more formal than that, I think. Hey, Bruce, any chance to recess the small seconds? Ooh, I like that idea. A recess small second. I think somewhere, I think I had a close up of the part of the subdial that was part of the Philippe Dufour Simplicity. And I think he had the little recessed small seconds, and that would be very cool. Biolist, FPJCB style, small seconds. Uh, yeah, right. Biolist, yeah, they have it. Uh, the FP Journe Chronomet Cervane and the Chronomet Blue, they have this where they have the small seconds. But remember, small seconds for us are determined very much by where the pinion and the gears go together. Okay, you like the? We'll take a look at that. Maybe what I can do, Hughes, I'll put a copy of the Mertz Grossman Power Reserve Vintage model up on the Pure Horology page so we can look at it. Also, too, I'll be posting this newest this and this on those pages. Hi, Hater. Let's see. Just to clarify a bit, do we need to keep the crown position at 3? Yeah, I think so. All right, I'll put it that way. Uh, I understand your point, and but for now, why don't we leave it there? See, the thing of it is that once we get the movement, once we have everything in, uh, the dial and where they put the numbers is going to depend on determine the angle. Looks okay. Any crown format would be okay for me. Important is that it has good grooves for winding, not too sharp. Yeah, that's a good point too, because it's going to be a hand wound. I was thinking of one of those, what are they called? Those loopy crowns. What are they? I keep forgetting what they call them. Forgot. onion crown. Get onion crown. How do you guys like that? I think they're pretty cool. As long as we don't abscess the sundial. Okay. Okay. I meant to say subdial. All right. Yeah, I got that sundial too. Secret to a nice dial. 2 words. Railroad track. Okay, we get it. You like railroad tracks. So we got to be. All things have been done with simplicity and judicity, because there is such a word. Okay, big onion. That's what I was thinking. Uh, diamond wins easier than onion. Diamond wines easier than. Oh, okay. Um, all right. Anything else on this? Because this is basically, like I said, I'll put these up on the Pure Horology page, and we can take a look at it and then talk about it later today, because I want to talk to the afternoon group. The other thing I want to talk about was sort of uh, is the metal of the case steel. Yeah, we'll be using a steel case. Believe me, this thing is just gold and it's just way too high. For the crown, what Moser uses on their heritage line is nice. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one too. Um, see-through back, definitely, definitely. Okay, that's not hard. That's a definite. Um, okay, the what I want to talk about too is some German watches, and I'm sort of like I've got exactly one German watch, and it's one of my favorite watches. And a lot of people have been talking about, well, the German watches are, very sort of engineer technical kind of things. But if you flip over a Langenheim Frederick II, like I've got, you see these engraving, these gracious bridges, like a trigonal bridges. You can see the whole thing that are some of the ones like the Georg or the Anton, where you have the put the little finger bridges holding each individual. I don't see that as anything but art. I really do. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to say something about the artistic German side. There was some guy they interviewed and was talking about the difference. He's Austrian, and he said um, Austria was like a waltz. The difference was between Austria and Germany. Austria was like a waltz, and Germany was like a march. Just to way of characterizing them. And I think a lot of that stereotype. The Swiss, you have so many different kinds of Swiss kind of renderings, and if you're and as far as Austria being a waltz, when you look at a harboring too, those things are they look more German than the Germans sometimes. Um, Arabic or Roman numerals. We're going with Arabic, Joas. At least for now we are. Maybe we'll decide later. We'll see. German can do art well, but their engineering mindset mostly takes over. I don't know. Uh, I don't know that the Swiss don't have it anymore, but you know, um, I guess maybe it depends. You have um, what Swiss, German, and Italian plus Romance, which is I guess sort of some Portuguese have been speaking it in as part of Switzerland. But basically, you have three groups that make up Switzerland, and the watchmaking part is primarily sort of in the German section and the French section. Geneva being the center of the French, and I think Schaffhausen for German. Okay, German can do art well. The German art that I like a lot is from the 1920s, and they had some of the poster art, and it was some of the most interesting sort of really fun art deco that they had. Very colorful, very very contrast, and you know I don't I think that's pretty cool stuff. And so anyway, that's my view of Germans aren't as German as they think, and Swiss aren't quite as Swiss, I guess. I don't know. Bauhaus. Yeah, no, Bauhaus. Yeah, there's some places. Bauhaus, you're right. Bauhaus is the Germans have very Bauhaus. Um, in a lot of their watches. And a lot of companies sort of embrace it like Nomos, but not all of them do. You know, and you take Merch Grossman, you even take Alonga. You know, you have some very nice things. Take a look at that one that Stefan Kadoki and flip it over. Take a look at that watch movement that is, you know, full of all of this engraving and so forth. So anyway, yeah. Hey, JGC, how you doing, man? Hey, Tim, in Greenwich, Connecticut today. Call for my AD. Call from my AD. Is that there was this French series called Call My Agent that my wife and I watched the whole thing, loved it. And so we might have one for watch collectors. Call my AD. Which AD is that, Tim? Is that who is it? Betteridge or who's the other guy? I forgot. There are a couple in Greenwich for that. So anyway, I just want to talk. I think that we have to watch our stereotypes about both the Germans and Swiss. The Swiss is like, you know, really a mix. I don't, you know, Parmigiani. Um, that's neither German nor very much of a an Italian Swiss name. And Italian design to me is more characterized by Panerai than anybody else. I happen to like them a lot. Yeah, say same thing with Gucci. A lot of the Gucci's in another Italian design. Okay, Greenwich. My AD is cool. I'm sure he is. uh, I live in Fairfield and West Haven. Hey, William. Yeah, another Connecticut guy. Way to go. Um, 4 more minutes. Okay, boy, I'm getting the countdown now. I did show up on time. In fact, I showed up early. Um, the let's see, that was the other. There was something else. Anyway, yeah, I think it's all right. I think that German watches. There's still a lot more to discover, at least for me. And I think for some German watch collectors, they are somewhat like Swiss watch collectors when they take a certain brand, like if you know, trying to, you know, how do you separate a Rolex from a Rolex fanboy? Well, the answer is with a crowbar. And the same thing may be true with a Zen and a German watch collector. You how you separate it, and I think it's important the importance of separation. Or we have a representative from Omega. You know, I know a lot of Omega lovers. So you have these uh, kind of connections. And I think the more I look into German watches, the more I realize, hey, there's a lot of them that's nobody seems to talk about very much. And so I'm having some fun with that. I have another one I'm going to have on Monday's video um, that somebody mentioned to me. I forgot, can't remember the exact name. Otherwise, I would mispronounce it for you. But we'll have to get that later. You know, there's really a lot to discover, I think. And to me, I see it in there's sort of like three centers. One is in Glashütte, of course. The other is Dresden, and the other is the rest of Germany. Even in the Black Forest where Abdul lives, you know, with having Hansel and Gretel putting watches together. Uh, Yeah, yeah, they're good deals. Hi, Jay. Does anyone like the new Longines movement? Modified ETA, lower beat rates. I don't know. it was. I like the lower beat rates. Yeah, they did that with the Powermatic 80. I think that's a really good one. What I don't like what they've been doing, they've been stuffing silicon in, and there's a good reason for it. But you know, there's also a good reason to have a smartwatch. So who knows? Um, Old Rados were beautiful, German side of Swiss. I have a Rado from about 1985 that I've had for years, and it's always been very accurate, but it's relatively small. One of the things that was interesting about Rado wasn't afraid of really trying out different materials for their watches, and I think I've always thought that was the cool thing about Rado. They I don't know if they ever got around them. I think recently they may have finally gotten around to making their own movement. But I know that from when I think they began with it, I think it was Rado or one of those. Maybe it wasn't Rado, but I do know Rado was very big about innovation and stuff. Thoughts on Junhans? Yeah, Junhans is one of those ones I think uh, JGC. My thoughts on them was that I think they're still using a lot of Swiss watch movements. And we've been seeing sort of the transition away from Swiss watch movements in some companies, uh, but a lot of them have kept them. Well, for one reason, they have some really good movements. But I would like to see more. I mean, there's only like one company, one or two companies maybe, that use the UWD 33.1 movement, which is a beautiful German movement. In fact, it's a wonderful German movement. I think, though, that for the popular German watches, like a Junghans, is very affordable too. The UWD 33.1 is a little too expensive. They're around 4,000 euro, I think. So we'll see what happens. So, okay, it's time to go. One last thing. We started off, I was bragging about we got to wear these stupid things again. But get one with your watch on it if we have to use it. Big thing about this, from what I understand, even if you get your shots, this crap goes up in your nasal cavity, and if you're fully vaccinated, you may have a breakthrough, but you're not going to end up in a hospital. 99% of the people in the hospital with COVID, they didn't get their shots. I don't know what they were thinking. But now it's this new variant, the Delta variant, and if you go in with a lot of people, wear the damn thing. Please get your vaccine if you haven't got it yet. Everybody take really good care of yourself. Take care. Um, some of you I hope to see this afternoon. The rest of you, I'll see you next week. And like I said, take care of yourself.